Have you ever been told not to talk to strangers? Yeah, I've been told that a lot. And I was a very stupid kid around that time. I let myself wallow into the arms of a stranger, but I'll tell you the story. It was a bright, sunny September day in the year of 1994. I was alone in the front yard of my parents' house, and I was aimlessly walking around playing with my toys like any regular kid would do. But then there was this man who walked past my house. I watched him for a moment. He didn't have any hair as far as I know. He wore little clothing, but not being completely nude, he walked around. It seemed like he had nowhere else to go, and that he did not even know where to go. He scared me for a bit, because he made eye contact with me for quite a while. He was very pale and skinny as well. His ribs poked out through his abdomen, and I noticed a tear in his shorts. He wore flip-flops and was sickly. I wanted to go inside and tell my mom and dad about the man, but something about him just kept my feet planted in the ground. At around the third cycle of our street, he made gurgling noises. I felt bad for the man, because his feet began to blister in the hot sun. He didn't seem tired at all from all that pacing around. I had that feeling that I didn't want to catch eye contact with him walking back my way again. I was so scared. I was so scared when he returned that 8th time. He had spoke random words that made no sense to me given that I was a young child. Once he came around on the 10th time, my mother had come out, and he was just standing there. My mother panicked. She grabbed me and I jerked away from her arms. I did not know why, but I wanted to go with him. I heard my mother call my father. She was very hysterical. My father came rushing me and he pulled me into the house. I fought and struggled, and I wanted to go back out. I described everything that transpired in great detail, and my parents thought I was crazy for wanting to go out there for that man. But that's when my mother reminded me of the safety tip. Don't talk to strangers. I don't want to talk to him, though. I want to see him. I want to walk with him in that ridiculous cycle again. But they insisted that I should go back to bed. I was not hungry at all. I only thought of that man. I turned constantly in my bed to see him by the curtainless window. I'd often see him crawl on the floor and call my name. Fuck, he even sat in front of me and made constant eye contact for hours. Neither of us said a thing. I just watched his colorless eyes and said nothing. I swore I thought I could see his mouth move, but I was so fearless. I did not want to be distant from him. I considered him my friend. But as the days go by, I constantly see him when I go to school. He's been there outside of my classroom, making no movement. My classmates would scream and give away his location, but the more that he grew attached to me, he shows up everywhere I go. There were no words shared between us, but we somehow understood each other. It's difficult to explain, but I just know, okay? 2 years later, one of my friends at school mysteriously vanished. He wouldn't show up for school for the next few days to come, and I worry about him. He made rude remarks to the man that stood by my side for these 2 years, but after that, he was gone. I felt that he was related to it. One night, I was sitting in my bed, not having gotten any sleep for about a few days. He appeared. My friend stood beside him. I looked at them both with wide eyes, surprised that he would actually appear with him. My school friend was similar to the man in body structure. He was just as bony and pale as him. I called his name and he responded with a twitch. I got up and crept slowly towards him. He made another twitch as I tried to touch him. He made low growls of weariness and the man called back in the same way. I answered them in the same manner. They both turned and vanished once more. I wanted to join him and see where they go, but I knew that he didn't want me to. So I just went back to bed. No one came to my room, and I never saw the man. 5 years afterwards, I began to doubt that he would ever return. I constantly yelled and shouted at the sky for him to come back. He intrigued me for so long, and I needed to see him more. I was older. I always wanted to know things. He was kept in my mind always, and I was never bothered by his appearance. I searched my room and hoped that he would be there or anywhere. But I knew that he wasn't going to stay anywhere in my sight. He just randomly shows up. But from the rest of that year to early 2008, I haven't seen him around. But that was until last month that I began to see him again. He was always asking me to find children. They began to... I had no idea what to do, and they all just... You've got to believe me. I had no idea that this would happen. That son of a bitch just got me to... us all to... Don't you fucking get it? I was so caught up in this guy's bullshit that I traveled with him a few weeks ago. I know what he does. Damn, I just wish I'd listened to what my mother said. I wouldn't be in this fucking mess. I know... They call him... I know that he lives in... Did you get all that? Good. Now let me go. Let us kill them all.